Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old-style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Mucho Scali.
Ranto.
Michael.
Ranto.
Cotton.
Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Ranto.
Mucho Scali.
Hey, welcome.
My favorite part
morning.
was like psyching himself up, and that was on. Like he just started too late. You're like,
Ready. I realized I was about to do it, and I don't think I'd breathed the entire time. I was just sitting here like in a ball. I just drank some coffee. I'm going to be like, Ranto.
You were like the wolf in Three Little Pigs, and he huffed,
and
he
puffed, and I blew my shit down, motherfuckers. Let's go. We're on the Sun Ranto Show. Good morning, Vietnam.
Hey, welcome to the Sun Ranto Show, brought to you by all of our Sun Ranto and Bleacher Bunch Patreon patrons on the Fans First Network, bringing you such great shows like Cup of Cubby Blue, Baseball Rabbit Hole, the Cubs PS Plus podcast, Bricks Behind the Ivy, and of course, Cubs Pod. But we are only here because of our 105 incredible Patreon supporters. You can find out more how you can become one at patreon.com/Bleacher Bunch. You can join for $1. And of course, we're brought to you by our sponsors, Matt Cameras, Permanent Paintings, Etsy Store, and also, who? Bring it to me. In the Clutch shirt. So I just wanted to leave everybody hanging for a moment. And you should wear In the Clutch shirts.
Mike's not awake. Don't do that to him. You can't.
I know he's like,
throwing at him.
I wasn't listening. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
well, I heard Matt Cameras paintings, and I was going to point to the Caitlin Clark that I've got, and I did the wrong hand, and then I was over here doing this, and then you asked me a question, and I was lost.
I thought you were doing the Trump jerk-off dance to YMCA. It looked like you were doing. So anyway, so one of those, some lucky Patreon person is going to win a Matt Camera permanent painting, Ron Santo art piece, and also an In the Clutch shirt because they are our sponsors. Anyway, thanks for being here. I wanted to point out Dallas from Australia rejoined Patreon. He was a lapsed Patreon member. He's like, hey, I can't really afford this right now. 1 second. And he came back and he's like, dude, I joined Patreon again. I'm so happy. So if that is you, if that's your story, you could be happy again.
Well, like that's cool. But if that's the case, then we've lost 2 Patreon supporters since last week. I want to know who the fucking are. Tell me their fucking names right now, Danny. I'm going to their houses and I'm going to shake them down.
Okay, I will. Let's swat him. Should we swat him?
Yeah, let's swat him.
If you quit your Patreon, you're getting swatted. That's how it works.
Here's my concern. I'm super happy to have Dallas back. We've known he's been around for a long time. We've chatted over the different socials. But the thing I'm concerned about is there a tariff? Like, do we have to start raising our prices for all the other people because Dallas is in Australia and we now have to pay double what he's paying so that we can just get the money? I don't know.
Is he an imported Cubs fan? An imported Sun Ranto fan?
I believe we do have to pay a tariff on him, but unfortunately the tariff goes to Apple because he subscribed through iTunes.
Right.
So that means that they get their big fat cut of it and everything first. So it's actually it's staying local. So the tariff is paid for by the other country, you see.
Right. And now Steve Jobs' corpse can change out his black mock turtleneck for a new one because they do that daily for his body, so he stays
fresh.
Okay, another question then. If it's paid by the other country, that means that Dallas has to pay more to be on whatever level. So is Dallas paying at like?
I think we're all paying.
he's
paying more
higher
than
level,
what-
and he's only getting like
He pays, we pay, and the only people that are getting that money don't do shit. We're
Right.
doing
Are the rich
stuff, he's
people.
doing stuff, and they just sit back, collect the money because they can. That's pretty much why, because they can, so they do. Anyway, thanks, Dallas, for coming on, and appreciate it.
we do appreciate having you back, Dallas. Thanks.
But
You're a patriot, sir.
We should get right into last night's.
Australia.
Oh wait, well, first of all, hashtag chance in the chat. Alex is here doing it. I saw a couple. Bernie's here doing it.
Bernie Sanders is here?
Yeah, well, kind of. Bernie is.
She actually first thing she said is to bitch about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, Bernie is complaining about another Bernie in the chat here.
Oh, that's funny because I just saw that and I was going to mention it. I saw Bernie at his rally wearing a Dodgers hat. Like, I don't know, man. Bernie's got some juice in Chicago. People love him, and I think he fucked up by doing that. Man.
Yeah,
people care. People care more about baseball than they care about their lives and their well-being in their country.
Look. There's more things to worry about than what somebody's wearing on their head. I'm just very concerned about all this Bernie on Bernie crime that we got going on.
I know.
Yeah, well, especially if it's going to bust up the Democratic Party because we keep stepping on our own dicks. Just like, you are the wrong hat. You're canceled. And then, also, judging by Bernie Sanders' accent, he probably wasn't and the fact that he's old as shit.
Red Sox.
He was probably an original, like Boston. No, I think, is he from Boston? I think he sounds like he's from New York.
I think he sounds
like an
like
original Brooklyn Dodgers fan.
Probably.
That's why he might be wearing.
You're right. He does sound like he's from Brooklyn. I never even thought that.
I might have.
Yeah, and he's been alive since 1801 or whatever the fuck it is. So
he was at Ebbets Field watching games.
He's in New York. He's a fucking New York Highlanders fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
He goes way back. Dominic
he used to babysit Jackie Robinson.
That's how he got woke. Dominic Galoro saying here in the chat that he got his opening day poster from Matt Kammerer the other day to add to his wall. I am waiting to buy mine because I'm not going to have a wall soon, and then I'm going to have a completely different wall. At which point I will fill up said wall with new Matt Kammerer stuff. In fact, it's kind of a nice thing. I can get some new stuff up there.
And I guarantee you, on that new wall just over Danny's left shoulder is going to be a big picture of his stupid face.
Yep.
You know what I don't have on my wall, Danny?
A picture of yourself?
Yeah,
No, I got a few of those right up there. No, I don't have a rancher calendar.
Whoa.
I sent you your rancher calendar in the mail.
Oh yeah, just like my check.
No, I know. I really did. No,
I was just gonna say, Michael, my calendar must be with my check as well.
I honestly sent you a rancher calendar from the Steve Goodman post office. It did not arrive.
No, I've never seen it.
Shit. Well, there's no more.
Oh, well, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, did you pack my calendar up in your shit and I gotta wait another
I'll order you one from the actual place.
Or
I could still get you one. Yours will be different.
Or we figured out what's wrong with your dog.
Yeah, poor Michael's dog's sick. We were talking about that before we went on, but yeah, he ate your calendar. Sorry, dude, there's no more. I gave Miguel Esparza's calendar to Ronnie Woo Woo. So I kind of got to give him a calendar too. So because he likes to hang it up in the booth, and then all those guys talk about it, look at the pictures. Right. So anyway,
right, well, put me on the list, man. I never got mine, so
that sucks. No, I really did send it though. I really honestly did. So
in fact, I'll give you a couple bucks and send me an extra.
You don't have to.
No, I'm saying send me an extra one so I'll pay for the extra one for Eli to take down to.
No, we're putting Eli to work. He's working off that calendar. He's doing Cubs pod this week, isn't he?
He is. He's going to start doing some Cubs pods until he's out of school. He's only got school for another month, and then he said he might jump in the regular rotation. So
sick.
So that's another thing I got to do today is I got to show him how to do the Cubs pod. I got to walk him through some shit just so.
Between vomit piles, Michael.
Yeah.
You'll get
So he
there,
doesn't
buddy.
embarrass your family name
Yeah.
with the worst
Oh,
out of all time.
I've got fucking 10 years, 11 years of doing this. There's nothing he's going to say.
That could embarrass your family name.
The only thing is if he got on there and started talking
All right.
about how wonderful Teslas were or some bullshit.
Or how much he likes the DH.
Oh, fuck.
It
He
couldn't
knows
get any
better.
lower. Oh no,
He knows better.
nope. He's a DH guy. I know it.
Yeah, we don't allow Nazis or DH fans in this family.
Got it.
So last night, the Cubs put down the biggest
Speaking of
beatdown.
the DH, we had DH news to talk about last night.
Oh, yeah. Well, our DH is hurt, but Bill's DVR survived to live one more day. There is a picture of Bill's DVR saying, "Thank you, Jesus," because last night the Cubs beat the Dodgers, the biggest beatdown in LA by the Cubs against the Dodgers of all time. I'm going to put up the classic list. I looked this up this morning, beating them 16-0.
What a hell of a game. You want to know what makes it even better? For me personally, my brother-in-law was at the game, and he just kept sending pictures and being like, "We're going to kick the shit out of the Cubs today." And then just to watch that happen while he was there, and he had to watch it and get get nonstop texts from me about how much his team sucks and how embarrassed he should be, and he should just leave.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
He hasn't responded.
Biggest beatdown in 40 years. Now I was looking at this, like we beat them 14-4 in 84, 10-zip in 83. That was another shutout. And then, there's some 9-1s, 9-2s. But what was going on in 83, 84, and 85 with those Dodgers teams that were they that bad? I don't remember them being terrible like that. I guess they must have been.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. LA.
When was
No, because
the Padres won 84. We know that.
Right. Yeah, maybe they were going through that rebuild because didn't they win in 88?
They won in 88.
Yeah,
but they won the World Series.
Were there
maybe
they were
just
early
down.
80s.
But wasn't 1980 or 81 like Fernando fever? Isn't that when was that when Valenzuela came out?
That.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they fell off that quick afterwards, or maybe they were.
I'm
good,
looking
but they just
it
got
up.
their ass beat by the Cubs.
Oh, well, actually, didn't Fernando get hurt? I wonder if that was during the era where they got beat up by injury.
I mean, he's also one of those like all-time greats that has like a 500 record. Not that records count for pitching, but you know what I mean. So
yeah.
But speaking of this game and how crazy it was, it broke the MLB app. If you're looking at this on it, the 16 for the Cubs, the 1 is above the 6 because apparently I saw this on Reddit. Apparently they couldn't get the 1 and the 6 together. I don't know.
Are you sure it's not 1/6? We beat them 1/6 to 0.
That would have been enough. It's super confusing when you look at it, though, isn't it?
Good thing they didn't score 26 runs. They would have had to use 2 pages.
Well, and it was really quite the game. I mean, so this was an all-time Dodger beatdown in LA, but here's some all-time Dodger beatdown. Some of these at Wrigley. Back in 2001, we beat them 20-1. And then we beat in 67, we beat them 20-3. Then last night is the third all-time best Dodger beatdown, 16-0. And we did in 1945, we beat them 20-6. But in 1945, like they were like using dudes that were too injured to fight in the war as their pitchers, like the starting pitchers. So like, and
the Cubs, Cubs had a good team that year. They went to the World Series with that broke ass bunch.
That broke ass team of guys who are too injured to like one guy like was in like a hay baling accident and made his way back, had 2 mangled arms, and it was your starting pitcher in like game 1 of the World Series. So
he was throwing with his feet.
Hold on. To be fair, 3-Finger Brown's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. That's all you need is 3 fingers.
But we don't talk about 5-Toe Jones enough.
Yeah, but 3-Finger Brown, actually, that is like his story. Like he stuck his hand in a thresher or some shit.
Yeah.
And I feel like he did it twice. It's not even like he did it once. I think he only lost one finger the first time, and the other ones came afterwards.
But yeah, we haven't beat down the Dodgers that much ever. And that was a historic beatdown last night. I'm going to put up the box score. I mean, look, Hap up top. He's only batting 222 right now. OPS 627, but him going 3 for 5 last night felt really good. Like maybe he's kind of coming out of whatever slump he started his year in. Even though he doesn't look like he's slumping, he doesn't look lost. He's just not getting hits. Like, I don't know. Tucker with a great night. He made a great catch last night too.
Yeah,
Goes 2 for 4. Amaya, the catchers on this team, Amaya came into the game because Suzuki left with a hurt finger, which we'll talk about in a second. But between him and Carson Kelly, Carson Kelly almost hit for the cycle again. You know, Amaya's up there. He's hitting dongs. He goes 2 for 3. And Bush almost had 2. He had 1 dong. He almost had another one. He went 4 for 5. Dansby Swanson went 1 for 5, but he thought I got a hold of one. He did not. It sounded awesome, but it did not go out. But like everybody getting into the act. Justin Turner came through against his old team. Little Dodger revenge action. Horner got a hit. Everybody got a hit. PCA got on. So what a great game offensively.
The Cubs, and amazingly, the final hit of the game for anyone was Nico Horner. The Cubs had 20 hits. Nico had none of those, and he finally, in like the 9th inning, got on base.
Yeah, off of who was their position player that was pitching?
I think Rojas was out there. He was the one that we need to talk about a little bit. He was great, but I don't know who came in after him.
Oh, there was somebody else. They let him.
I think they
save his arm for tomorrow.
Maybe Rojas did finish, but yeah. Oh no, they did have to pull him because they were just crushing him.
His ERA was just going through the roof. Poor guy. Miguel Rojas finished it. He's now has an ERA of 22.50. Well, at some point, I feel like the other team, when that's in that situation, they just kind of take mercy, and they're like, okay, well, let's just swing at the first pitch and let's just ground out, even if it's a shit pitch.
Except for the Cubs last night, they were like, "Fuck you, Dodgers. We are taking you down as hard as possible." Because so that was the thing. Rojas went out there, and I'm listening to the Dodgers feed because fuck the Marquee feed, and the Dodgers feed is really good. They tell me all sorts of cool stuff about players on my team that I didn't even know. It's wonderful, but they're out there, and Rojas, they're talking about him. So when he looked kind of funny in some of the different things, he was imitating the pitchers on his team in his dugout. So he was like looking over at Sasaki and doing Sasaki movements. He was doing Yamamoto's, like sort of turn the back to the thing. He was doing Landon, who's that guy? Landon Daco or
Michael Landon?
Yeah. Michael yeah. Landon. Oh, God,
yeah.
Man.
Touched by an angel?
Touched by an angel. No, what else, though? It was
Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven. And then before that, he did the one, the
Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie. That was the one.
Yeah, but
God, he was so good. And he pitches.
America's pioneer dad.
Yeah, exactly. But so Rojas is out there and he's doing this, and they're having fun. Like they're laughing about it and shit, and the announcers are kind of laughing about it. But then at a certain point, Amaya's hitting home runs off him. The Cubs are just ripping him. They don't give a fuck. They are just like, we do not care that we are up 13-0 right now, and we've got a position player. We are going to keep fucking adding on. And you could see at first Rojas was having fun, but then by the end he was like,
well, how embarrassing for freaking Workman got his first major league hit off of the Rojas. I mean, that's embarrassing.
His first two.
And RBI. Yeah, his first 2 hits.
His first 2 hits.
So, but so you have the Dodgers throw this guy out, and he's out there having fun. Does that make you feel concerned about the Sunday Scaries, and I know we'll get into it a little more, but does it make you feel concerned because they were still loose when they were getting their ass kicked? They were like, man, shit happens. Here we go.
Well,
we're still
ESPN.
the greatest all-star team in baseball history. So fuck you all.
Well, my point was it was super funny for me to watch Rojas finally just get like, this sucks. They are not taking any mercy on me at all.
His pitching career is over.
Right.
Maybe. Well, I do want to, before we get off this game, I do want to bring up how well Ben Brown did after a really shaky outing early at Wrigley. This kid's talented, but he went 6, struck out 5, gave up 5 hits, no runs, and that's the key. Brought his ERA down to just above 5, and then the bullpen of Merriweather, Caleb Thielbar, and Nate Pearson, who all have ERA. Well, Merriweather's done okay, but Thielbar and Pearson have not so far, and they did well in this game. So I just have to
Merriweather has barely pitched. Like every time Merriweather comes out there, I'm like, oh yeah, Merriweather's on this team.
Yeah, there's no faith in him yet for some reason, right?
Yeah, I don't
This is
understand.
the guy he's out there in this game for a reason.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Thielbar and Pearson seriously have sucked this year. So this is the kind of game that they needed to be in. But yeah, I don't understand the Merriweather thing yet. Like he was one of their guys last year. They thought he was going to be the closer if the closer went down, but then he hurt himself. And I don't know, maybe he's still injured and he's just not doing as much. But
like the only one that's been good of like the new guys has really been Brad Keller. You know, he's been the only one that, and I don't know if they thought that he would be in the closest circle of trust, but there he is. And these things change throughout the year too. It's like some guy will be lights out.
That's why you load up on bullpen arms. That's why it's crazy when teams don't do it, because it's so cyclical out there. And those guys, they have the brains of goldfish for the most part. But when guys just are throwing junk and people are crushing them, they go out the next day, they're like, I'm fine. I'm just going to go back out there and do it again. And then they start getting crushed over and over and over again. Or it just switches, and they're like, all right, this guy might be lights out again. Here we go. Out of nowhere, this guy found his shit. So it's worth having the multitude of arms out there to make sure that you can cover your own ass. And then as playoff time comes, you start dialing in, and you still have those other guys in there for emergencies. So
well, that's a great transition though to talking about arms.
Yeah.
I was actually going to mention, we've had a good time talking about the beatdown we saw last night, but the night before,
I don't want to talk about that game.
That was a shutout the other way.
Why the hell do you want to talk about that game? That game sucked.
Well, guess what? Well, like a decent pitching performance, obviously a great one on the Dodgers side, but even on the Cubs side,
yep.
Not terrible, but when you can't get hits and you can't put guys on base and you can't get runs, there's nothing you can do about it, man. You got to score more runs than the other team if you want to win.
Yeah, and the one guy that did
right?
anything for either team, Tommy Edman. So this is why I wanted to talk about it. This is Tommy the only reason. I'm pulling a fucking shit Bambi right here, and I'm forcing my stat into this fucking show, whether it makes sense or not. I'm watching the Dodgers. And it was before he hit the home run, the Dodgers announcers pointed out that they said in Tommy Edman's career, every 1 out of every 5 home runs he's hit has been against the Chicago Cubs.
Oh my God.
He's just that guy. It sucks.
And he's not that good against anybody else, but 20% of his total overall home runs of his entire career have come against the Cubs. And that's not one season. That's season after season after season. Different pitcher, just in St. Louis, in Chicago, now in LA, like wherever. It doesn't fucking matter. I mean, Tommy Edman might go down as one of the all-time horrendous Cubs killers.
We should do that sometime. The Cubs killer, all time catcher, first base, like go around, like get a good lineup going for the all time Cubs killer.
That's actually a good idea. I think
Eugenio Suarez makes it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. We just 2 weeks ago, I think we had this conversation.
There's always those
Suarez
guys.
makes it just on what he did this season.
Yeah, exactly. So where were we? Oh yeah, we got to get into this talk of the Justin Steele injury because we don't really know what's going on with it, except for that it's going to be a while before he comes back. You know, people are saying 2 weeks, people are saying 6 weeks, people are saying he's dead. So we don't.
Right.
It's somewhere in the middle.
Nobody knows, or nobody's sharing enough information.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're getting a second opinion, so that never sounds good because if the first opinion must have been pretty shitty. Yep. They're like, yeah, you're gonna need career-ending surgery. He's like, I'm gonna seek a second opinion.
Yeah, and so considering that they went into the season with him being potentially an ace.
Well, and that pisses me off for a couple reasons. First of all, that everybody was like, they need one more pitcher, they need to slot everybody back, and they didn't do it. And all
didn't they say they
money.
had pitching depth? Didn't they talk about pitching?
Well, they do,
depth?
And it's going to be tested now because
it's all number 5s.
It is. And like today, for example, we're starting there. Today would have been Steele's start, maybe. I don't know. I think that's how it would have worked. So Steele would have gone out there because the last time he pitched was Monday. Did really well, by the way. Went 7 innings, pitched 91 pitches or something like that. And then he was hurt. So actually, he might have been pitched already. But with the off day and whatnot is how it worked out. So now we're having Colin Ray go, who was not part of the starting staff. He's been on a reliever up till now. So I don't know how stretched out he is. We'll find out. But I'll put up his stats. That's who's going today. And he's been around for a while. He's 35 years old almost, 34. He's been around since 2015. When he was with the Padres, bounced around Miami, was with the Chicago a little bit in 2020. Then he went to Milwaukee. So I think that's why he's here, because Council probably likes him. Overall, he's got a ERA lifetime of 4.52 and a FIP of 4.66. So he's right there where he kind of should be.
Yeah.
The 7.3 strikeouts per 9, 2.7 walks per 9. I mean, then you're getting a average back end of the rotation pitcher. And I don't know how stretched out he is, like I said, but that's who they're choosing to use now.
What do you think? They're definitely going to go pick somebody up off the scrap heap too, probably, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, they have their own scrap heap. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if they have to go get a scrap heap. I mean, Ray's already on the 40-man. Assad's already on the 40-man. Justin Wicks is already on the 40-man.
Bill said, second opinion, say hello to Keegan.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, I think he's off the 40-man. So you're going to do your 40-man guys first.
Right.
And then see what you got. And so that's Ray. The next one is maybe Assad. He pitches Tuesday at Iowa on basically a rehab start.
I was just going to ask about Assad. I haven't heard shit about him since he left spring training.
Well, and 2 seconds ago when I said Tuesday, he's pitching, baby.
Yeah.
So he's been better than people think he should be because of the peripherals of his work. Whereas like his ERA is 3.40, the FIP is 4.49, a complete run higher. So the strikeouts per 9 about the same, walks per 9 about a little higher than Ray at 3.8. But we've seen him succeed in the major leagues, and he's on the 40-man too. So he might be coming up and taking one or two of these starts.
Doesn't Assad translate into like roasted or toasted though, Dan? I mean, it's not a good sign.
Well, Asada.
Yeah, right. But I think also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's carne asada, I mean, Assad is definitely a meaty dude.
Yeah, carne Assad.
He's the meatiest of all of our pitchers.
There's a song in there somewhere, Dano. Carne Assad.
Well, if there already
really
was a carne Assad song.
Right.
And then you got Justin Wicks, he's a lefty, so maybe that's why they don't really go with him. But he was in the rotation pretty much last year, but now they don't want him. But he got hurt. I don't know what they're going to do with Justin Wicks, but or Jordan Wicks. Jordan Wicks, I call him Justin. Jordan, he's a first round freaking draft pick.
Which is why he's still in the league.
Which doesn't mean shit, right? I mean,
well, it does, but
not to us, Lyle. But
yeah, it doesn't
apparently,
mean
if you're
a lot
a
to
first round draft pick, they'll keep you around no matter what. I mean, look,
I
Madrigal was
I just saw somebody put a list up of like the best number one picks in baseball in the last 20 years. And I think half the guys barely got a cup of coffee or never played, like it's wild. It's like Harper's the best player in the last 20 years. And by the way, you'd take Harper any day of the week on any team, but there's not a lot of great talent that comes out of those top picks for a lot of teams. Just doesn't work out all the time, especially in baseball, especially with pitchers. It's a crapshoot.
And Wicks isn't working out. I mean, he has had some starts in Iowa, and he didn't do well. He's in 2 games. He only went 9.2 innings, and he gave up struck out 6, walked 6 though, and that was kind of like one of his issues.
Isn't that a good sign sometimes though? Like, I'm always terrified. We're like, this guy's been lights out in the minors over the last month. He's pitched 4 strong shutouts in a row, and he's coming up. He's gonna be lights out, and all of a sudden he's giving up 10 runs. It gets blown up, and it's usually the guy you're like, why are they bringing this guy up? He's been terrible. And so I don't know.
Well, and even in the minors, it's not like he's blown anybody away. He's got an ERA near 4 in the minors. So I mean, in a WHIP of 1.2, so that's okay. But his strikeout numbers are there in the minors, 10.3 strikeouts, but it's 7.4 in the majors per 9. So I don't know. I'd like to see more Wicks. I mean, I think he'll get some starts, but. So those are 3 options that are on the 40-man. And then if you want to go down from there, and this would take 40-man moves, you got Chris Flexen, who, let me tell you how I know this guy sucks. He was on the White Sox last year. That's all I got to say.
The team that just beat my team 2 nights in a row.
This guy's been playing in organized ball.
Did the Red Sox get beat twice in a row?
Yeah, back to back. We just got fucking hammered. Back to Friday night. I watched that entire game, and it was awful.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh,
in Chicago with 100 people in the stadium.
Props though that the Red Sox swept the Cardinals last week. That was nice.
You're welcome.
Danny was not properly appreciative on the text thread.
Yeah, he really was.
So I got Chris Flexen's numbers up here in case anybody is interested.
You got his number? Give him a call. Let's get him on the show.
Yeah.
Tell him he sucks to his face, Danny.
Yeah, tell him he's fired. Why don't you flex on out of here? But he's done well so far in Iowa. So I don't know if they would make the 40-man move. But I mean, the whip's a little high. Has walked more than you would like. 6.
And he's based on how big that stat sheet is. He's 72 years old.
Yeah, no, he's only 30. He's just been everywhere, man.
Yeah, 1.74 ERA down there right now is what I'm looking at here.
Everywhere, man. He's been.
I mean, do those numbers really matter?
No.
I mean, he's got a 0.87 so far this year. You're looking at runs allowed per 9.
Oh, okay.
Which is somehow different. So
right, but yeah, the one that I'm looking at that I don't like is the 1.742 WHIP.
Exactly. No, that's exactly.
Well, fuck you and fuck your stats because that's what ruins baseball. But what I would say is for a team that likes to claim they have a plethora of arms, it's sad to hear some of the options that they have. Right?
I do not think you're using that term correctly. El Guapo. Do you know what plethora means?
Many.
Because they just DFA'd Killian, so that seems to be over, which means we got nothing for MVP Rookie of the Year Chris Bryant because Canario is also gone. So that's over. We got nothing. And so that would have been a high kind of at the time we were like, oh, this guy's going to be something. He was not. And so of those 4 guys with some experience, they're all basically the same pitcher, except for Assad we kind of like because we already know him. And then the last person, and they're not going to do this, but I don't know why they won't do it, is Cade Horton.
Yep.
Like why they won't bring this guy up. He's young. He's exciting. Here's what he's done so far in his 2 games in so far in the minors this year. He's coming back from injury, but he has already been back. He's had 12 strikeouts in his 7.1 innings. And apparently he's still walking guys. He's got a high whip, But apparently that's just not good enough to make your number 5 starter these days because
Well,
40-man shit.
Throw that back up there, Danny. If you see, so he's got 2 starts and he's only done 7.1 innings despite striking out 12, and it's only 1.23. Like,
They're stretching
my
him out.
guess is that he is still on a really tight pitch count.
Yeah.
So that might be why they're not bringing him up. I agree with you. Like, just get this dude on a fucking fast track soon. But looking at this, my intuition here is that they're only letting him pitch 2 or 3 innings before they're pulling him.
But I guess they don't want to do the thing where they like use him out of the pen for a little bit. And now he's a long man in the pen. We keep him kind of stretched out, and then he goes down because we need an arm. When they bring him up, and it might not even be this year. They might be those guys again because they are so conservative with these dudes. Do not want to take their little action figures out of the packaging because they'll lose value immediately. And they will, because the Cubs don't know how to do any of this. So,
Right.
like, they don't know how to develop players. This probably other teams, like he'll go to another team. We'll trade him for somebody that's ready now.
Well,
And
you got to be careful because you don't want to get a Nolan Ryan situation on your hands. You don't want to have a guy that you throw out there every day his entire career for 8 or 9 innings because you ruin him. And he can't throw hard anymore. He can't strike people out. He just he gets overused real quick. And he just you're only going to get 20 years out of a guy like that.
What's that these days? Nothing.
What the hell?
With the lifespan going up? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's actually
true.
going down. So
Yeah,
anyways,
but back then, come on, Lyle, nobody threw us. Oh, wait, Nolan Ryan, my bad.
Yeah, right.
but I want to ask you, worst case scenario, Steele's out for the year. Let's say that's going to happen. Let's say that's what do you do?
Worst case scenario for him is he's dead. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Well, I don't know. He doesn't have to deal with life anymore. I mean,
They cut that arm off, and then they forget to seal up the.
Right. They just let him bleed out. They're like, somebody get the arm, put it on someone else.
But what do you think? What do you do? What do you do if he's out for the year? You got to still play these games.
You give up on the season and you just throw out a bunch of fucking whoever's and has-beens out there and wait till next year.
So you don't try to overpay because that's what it would take.
No, it's what the Cubs do. I mean, you're asking me what I think would actually happen. I don't think they fucking do nothing.
That they just work from this depth that I just described.
Yeah,
see if it's good enough.
It's the saddest depth chart ever.
Yeah, it's.
They're all the same guy.
We only talked about this all season or all off
season. This was the problem. They're like, we got it. We're good. Don't worry about it. And Steele looks like he's going to have a career year. And guess what? Maybe he's back in a week, Danny. You have no fucking idea. And that's what's crazy about it.
And this is just yet another one of those Jed Hoyer things where he is beholden to all the numbers. He believes in the numbers. All these paper players, that's all he does. He fucking plays paper players all the time. And then on top of that,
I bet he's sick at fantasy.
On top of the paper players that he's playing, he expects them to do better than the numbers that he believes in 100%, which doesn't make any sense because if you believe in the fucking numbers that much,
we need every single player to outperform their expectations by 12%. We're going to be a 112% team. You're like, what is happening?
And we are going to create a culture in which if you do that, you will go to another team because we won't pay you.
Well, yeah. And I feel like we've kind of covered that. And that's a good transition. Guys, with as good as Kyle Tucker has been all year, do you think you just go out and get this fucking deal done now? Because I have some inside information. I Googled.
Everybody's talking about it.
Well, I mean, people are talking about it, and you see it out there in the Twitter spheres and whatnot. Not that I go on Twitter anymore, but
all year it's going to be this way.
I know, but there, something came out about an hour ago, I believe, and it says the Cubs and Tucker are very, very close to signing a 10 or 11-year extension for $500 million. I can't imagine that that's true because I think the biggest contract ever for the Cubs was like $189 million. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the Hayward one.
Yeah.
Yep. Hayward.
Yeah, I mean, that would
Isn't that sad
blow it away.
biggest contract ever.
I mean, if they want to play year after year, and they could, that Tucker seems like the kind of guy that they would absolutely love to build around. He's like, quiet and white, and you know what I mean. Like, he's exactly the guy that they would go for. He'll just be in right field, and he won't say nothing, and he just gets hits, and like he's not outspoken. Like, they love that kind of guy. So, if they would open the pocketbook for anybody, it would be him. It certainly wouldn't be a Juan Soto. They don't want him big baby and doing all that weird shit at home plate. That's way too much action for them. Kyle Tucker's just going to hit his dogs and run around the bases and not even high five. He doesn't even care. Just goes and gets a drink of water.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if Kyle Tucker, as bland and lame as he is personally, like, he's a great player, but he's just nothing. And then they give him that $500 million, and he shows up with PCA's haircut and fucking stars.
I was just gonna say he's gonna start hanging out with PCA every day.
Get that money. Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing. I would be so happy because yes, he is super bland.
Gold chain.
Yep. And the Cubs, I'm sure Ricketts is sitting there thinking to himself like, oh, we have a great history of right fielders. This is what the Cubs are about. It's like how the Bears just repeatedly keep trying to fill the middle linebacker spot no matter what. Like, that's just their thing. Like, that's the Cubs in right field. It's Dawson, it's Sosa, it's
Urlacher, Singletary. Yeah.
Exactly.
And the Bears think it's a badge of honor to have shitty quarterback play. Whether the quarterback's good or not, if he's good, let's not protect him and give him anything. And if he's not good, let's give him all the weapons and just watch him flounder.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah. So, I mean,
no
I can totally see them really doing this. It would be, I mean, honestly.
You think this is going to happen. I mean,
here's the thing. There's two sizes. I mean, I would do it at this point. I would do it already. And then
I'd spend their money,
but
no problem.
On the
PCA would
side,
be dead in a week with the amount of meth him and I would do with all that money.
Yeah, but on the flip side, it's like you're working with the Cubs who've never even come close to this before, supposedly outside of Ohtani, right? And then you've got to, they have to convince Tucker to not test the waters. And what did we also see this week? If you're talking about extensions and stuff, PCA apparently he turned down $75 million because he's thinking he wants to test the waters,
or he wants to get that big multi-year contract. Like, if you're going to give it to me, like, let's go.
Well, but
he doesn't. I mean, first of all,
he has no leverage right now, and he turned down $75 million. That's fucking insane to me.
He's betting on himself. He thinks he's going to be better this year and going to get more out of it now. And I don't think it. I like the confidence when people bet on themselves, but it's really hard in my mind to think about ever leaving $75 million on the table. I mean, just earlier after we did the last show, I was reading some Cubs news, and I think Cubs are firm on $40 million for Tucker. They will not move off of that number. And then this morning, I see Cubs and Tucker are really close to a 10-year, $500 million contract. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like 40. That sounds like 50 a year, which, by the way,
it also does not sound like the Ricketts.
And it does not sound like the Ricketts.
Yeah. And yeah.
Or the Ricketts got Ricketts in their brain. And they're just like, fuck it, let's spend.
I mean, Alexander Miller says he thinks that PCA thinks he can get more AAV in arbitration, and Dominic Galoro, PCA hasn't hit the arbitration years yet. $75 million is definitely a hometown discount.
What were the years, Michael? What were the years on that?
That's the thing. I don't think anybody knows what the exact years. If heard the number,
75 million. That's no big deal. But if it's 5 years, he's probably like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking.
Yeah, and that is the thing. And I mean, I can't imagine being in this in that position, right? Nobody's ever offered me a fucking dime for anything I've ever done. I have to beg and plead to get fucking paid.
You
And
gotta
then
write a Bible book that you even plagiarized from a whole other book.
right.
The Bible, dude. Jesus actually gave a cease and desist to Danny to pass on to you while he was visiting his mom's shrine. It was a really fucked up day.
It's in the shrine.
And I haven't seen a dime from that yet either. I've spent more on it. But yeah, no, it's
mine's in the mail. I got the update this morning that it was shipped, I believe, and I should be reading that on the pooper any day now.
oh nice. But no, it's just one of those things. It's like I mean, I do get it. It's like they're gonna give him $75 million and they want him to stay another 5 years in Chicago. That means 10 years, and that makes him what, 32 or 33 by the time he actually gets to hit.
Well, he's got to learn to hit over 200 first before he starts betting on himself. Like, I know he's a very talented guy, but this guy could be like, you know, the rich man's Billy Hamilton or something like that. We don't know. And like, I think he's very
Billy
talented.
Hamilton, the rich man's Billy Hamilton.
Yeah, I was gonna
or
say.
is he the poor man's PCA? I don't know. They could be the same thing. But yeah, I mean,
he might be the poor man's Billy Hamilton.
Yeah, be good for him for betting on himself. I hope it works out for him, because if it works out for him, it means it's working out for us. But unfortunately, also they might move on from him, and then like he ends up.
Well, no, if he bets on himself, it might be a bet that brings him to the Dodgers. While he goes on to have like an 8-year, multi-year, 300 average, 32 home runs, 110 RBI, 50 stolen bases a year. It's gonna, and you're just watching it from.
It is interesting that this all broke while the Cubs are in LA. And is it because LA has people there, just like the clubhouse attendants are like, hey, the Dodgers, you know, if you just hang on, the Dodgers will give you, you know, 200 mil, like no problem. That's their first offer. like the clubbies are already talking to him. So the Cubs are like, shit, we got to lock these guys up before we get out of LA, or we're never going to get them.
Yeah.
So we should take a break anyway, and then we'll come back. We'll do some bitch clocking. So if you have Cub fans' grievances, please put them in the chat. Hashtag Chance in the chat if you want to win the Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. There he is with his nice little parted hair. And so anyway, everybody go refill your coffee cup.
Oh,
and
I have a
have a silhouette?
I have a special silhouette today.
Okay.
It's not a silhouette.
Okay.
Because
so
again,
makes it real special.
I found a card that is I'm on a streak. I'm just finding insane freaking cards. It's not like I'm looking hard. I'm picking a name and I'm going out there and I'm getting, you know, Uehara going like this, and I'm, you know, getting just weird shit. Okay. So today I found this one.
Did
you already see it?
It was so
yeah, I remember that one. Look at that old cell phone.
This is a player. So maybe you already saw it. Maybe you did. Maybe I got it off there. But who's that cubby? All I did was blot out the name, because there's almost no fucking way to pick this random white dude on a 1980s Wall Street cell phone.
God, that's incredible. All right. Well, we'll be right back. Here's a commercial for Patreon.
They're ripping the pack.
I love that jersey.
You know he did that on purpose. He's like,
I love that jersey.
Yeah. The Cuba jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this guy did do this on purpose, because he played for a lot of different teams, and when I went through and was looking at different ones,
he was calling the next team about the previous team.
Exactly.
Saying I want to play on the other team.
He's got a lot of kind of weird he's got a lot of weird pictures, just him on like fuck with headsets on and shit.
Exactly.
He really wanted to get into broadcasting, so all of his cards.
Well, he knew he sucked at baseball, so he had to do something. So,
Corey, is that 96 tops? That's what I was wondering. What year that card was?
That's what Corey says. It's a 96 tops.
That makes sense to me.
It says it's a stadium club. So,
Not gonna lie. Every once in a while, when I was living in New York with Danny, I would just randomly buy a pack of baseball cards, just open them up and leave them around. I remember that set because I had stopped collecting at that point. I pretty much stopped collecting in '93, I think, but I would still buy cards once in a while to open them up, and I remember that year.
Well, there it is.
let's
Who is
go
it?
to break, and we'll have the answer
We'll
on
be
the
right
flip
back.
side.
All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Sun Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Sun Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Sun Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a Super Ranter today. If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his double U. Cody Bellinger smoking deuce. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your stro. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SUNRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In the Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch. Who the hell is that handsome cubby with the cell phone? Hello? Am I the only one here? Michael, put your headphones on.
Oh, sorry about that.
What are you doing?
I got a little. We usually go longer than that on the commercials.
No, we don't. The commercials have been the exact same amount of time this entire time.
I don't. Look, man.
That's
I am only halfway here. Like I was telling people in, watching, don't have any idea why I'm losing it, but my dog's been sick, so I've been up all night the last few nights, and I'm honestly amazed that I made it today. I woke up at like 8:10, and I'm like, holy shit, I got to do Sun Ranto today. So, all right, let's do this. We got the Cubby stuff. We got Kevin Ory is a guest here. Pretty good guess. Corey Furlong says Derek Lee.
That is Derek Lee.
Sun Ranto from Josh D.
correct.
Danny looked that good once.
And then, okay, so this is weird. I'm not sure. I think this might have been a few tries, and Terry E kept getting auto-corrected. Todd Exile. And then he wrote
Exile.
And then he wrote Zeal. And it is Todd Zeal. And Dominic Gloro says Todd Zeal, but Kevin Ory doppelganger. Yeah.
I say Todd exile as we exile him off of this show. See you later, exile
What
on Main Street.
some of these cards, man, like what are they doing? Nobody wants to see a baseball player on a phone.
He
Like
did that on
you gotta trade
purpose.
like
I know,
12 of those
but
to
otherwise,
get-
the great ones are all like 2 or 3 like action pictures. So I think they try to shake it up, Michael. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's the right idea, but it's different. And guess what? It was different enough that you spent the time to put it up there. We want to talk about it.
Do you remember?
Hoorah!
I think it was I forget who it was from the Braves, Bob Horner or somebody like that. Glenn Hubbard, maybe, that he had a picture in, I think it was 1984 Topps, of him with a boa constrictor around his neck.
Like Jake the Snake?
I'll find it. Maybe Glenn Hubbard. Let me see if I can't find this baseball card.
Yeah, that's
Snake. Yeah, no, that's what it was.
yeah, Bill Sigas. You forgot how revolutionary cell phones were in the early 80s. Bill, I think this was mid 90s. That phone was probably outdated when they took the picture. But
that could just be then a super like high-end cordless phone too. You know what I mean? Because they started getting bigger because they didn't work anywhere. And maybe that thing worked in the whole stadium. They probably put fucking antennas up on the roof.
Do you remember how long, and maybe it's still like this, that the bullpen phones were just like a little crank thing, like ring. It's like from World War
number
II.
369. How can I collect your call?
I mean, it was pretty much the most advanced version of 2 cans and a string. Is because they were just those phones only talk to each other.
Look at this baseball card. I found it. Glenn Hubbard.
Yeah, there it is.
The
Oh
Philly
my
fanatic over his shoulder. Like, there's a
Wow.
lot going on in this picture.
Oh,
There
those
is
powder blue Atlanta. Oh, so
Yeah.
good. Look at that beard. So
Yeah, it's a beard.
Before
That beard is now dead.
Before we move on deep into the show, can I just like reach back? Say, I'm just going to ask you a couple quick questions, Danny. Do you think that the Cubs are going to sign Tucker to an extension? Do you think that's going to happen?
No,
You don't.
not during the season.
Okay. So, do you
I think he's gonna test
do you think
the
it'll
water.
event, so you don't
He'd
think
be
it'll
an
even
idiot.
happen?
He'd be an idiot not to.
Okay.
He could get a lot more money. And these guys, they're not. Everybody's it's so greedy. They offered him $500 million, didn't take it. Yeah, they're setting the market for the other players who are at the top of the game, and so they have to do the most. They can't take any kind of like, oh, I really like deep dish pizza, I'm going to just stay in Chicago. They can't do that because it sets the market.
Has anybody ever? Has that been the breaking point for any contract ever?
Well, I
sure
believe that's Andre Dawson's blank check. He's just a big fan of that's where that came from.
If Tucker signs $450 million, and then the next season, spring training, just fat as fuck. He's like, I've been eating deep
dish.
Danny, if they do extend him, do you think it comes anywhere close to $500 million? And anywhere close to me is 420 to more than 500.
Absolutely.
You think the Cubs are going to spend that much money if they do sign him?
No, they absolutely. That's what he will go for at least, and that's why I'd have a hard time believing that the Ricketts would do it, unless they thought they found their star that could fill up the bleachers to sell the $20 beers. Like, I mean, it's going to be a financial decision for them and not a baseball one. So that's the unfortunate reality of being a Cubs fan, and they'll throw enough money at it to like keep the ball kind of spinning or the plate spinning, but that's about it. But if they really like this guy, maybe they think that is their dude that they could do that with, and they just like the way he projects or whatever, for the box office, really. But
he's so pasty white.
But the other thing about exactly so white.
Oh God.
But the other thing about just Tucker signing or testing the waters is that. Yeah, I was having this argument with this guy I work with the other day. He's like, oh, I can't believe all this money, $1 billion player. Because there was an article about like MLB's going to have $1 billion player. I'm like, yes, they absolutely will. Yeah. He's like, can't believe this. I'm like, well, the owners are billionaires and they don't do shit. So they don't hit the baseball. They don't throw the baseball. So are you telling me that the guys that actually do this stuff don't get to be billionaires,
I
but
agree.
the guys who just own it and don't do this shit do get to be billionaires? Because
Right,
that's what you're saying to me.
Because their dad made a bunch of money and now they think they're special.
Yeah. So no, I'd rather Kyle Tucker make $1 billion or Ohtani or like whoever it is.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
By the way, Ohtani's already making $1 billion. The fact that he could push all that money into the future and give them such a break when that money's going to be worth less down the road just shows how much money he's actually making in Japan. He doesn't give a fuck. That is play money. That's like when you do your laundry and you find like $15 in the dryer and you're like, oh, I'm going to go out and fucking buy myself a sandwich and a beer because it's found money. It feels like it was nothing. That's what his $700 million contract is like to him. And it's fucking insane, but good for him. And I'm all about it. I want him to make all that fucking money. He seems like a weird guy who only cares about baseball and maybe a couple other things. He's a giant child from
like gambling,
Ohtani is going to take over. And now I'm having a brain fart, but the guy
Draft
gets
King.
$1 million. What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say DraftKings.
Soto?
No. The Mets pay this dude every. Why am I?
Bobby Bonilla.
Bonilla, yeah.
He is. They're going to.
Ohtani's going to be the new Bonilla, except for instead of $1 million, it's going to be like 2045, and they're going to say, "Oh, Shohei Ohtani just made $20 million for a game, for baseball he played 20 years ago."
Michael, I'm going to ask you the same question. I'm going to ask you to be less long-winded than Danny, though. Do you think that the Cubs are going to sign him to an extension, Tucker?
I'm really surprised to see any talk already. So I do. I never thought they were, but the fact that we're hearing stuff right now that they are talking, I think
all these guys.
I've gone from probably 30% chance that they're going to sign him to maybe like 48% chance that they're going to sign him.
You're still no. So that's still a no.
It's like a 50-50, but the fact that they're talking about it is actually really surprising to me.
And if they do sign him, do you think it's going to be $500 million-ish that the Cubs are going to spend? 420 plus would be my I'd be shocked that they spend that much money on anything.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be 450 at a minimum. Here's the thing, though. What I saw in there, no trade clauses. Jed Hoyer throws out no trade clauses for anything and everything, and it's like, dude,
it ends up working again.
How about we hold that shit back until the fucking very end?
Yeah, it's like they give it away like candy, and it's not helpful most of the time. It usually works against you. Just fuck that.
Yeah, it's just.
I think they're stupid anyway because I think in today's world there is more movement with pro players, and maybe not as much in baseball, but there is. But you see in other sports like basketball, guys they'll sign a $500 million contract and then 2 weeks later be like, yeah, but I'm not happy. I want to play somewhere else. I'm like, wait, what? It's fucking whiplash. So
here's my thing about the Tucker deal, though, especially they do this. Like, on the one hand, I'll be happy that they finally put a guy out there that they're going to keep and build on, right? Like, I am fucking tired of every 2 or 3 years completely redoing the entire fucking team.
This signing is a signal to the rest of the fans that they're getting ready to build a team around something, hopefully. Or it's the one guy they signed to appease you, and then they're like, well, we're broke now. We have no more money, so it's going to be nothing but minor leaguers from here on out for the next 5-6 years. So that's the other fear.
The other part about it is like what Danny said. He's like this boring, nondescript, nothing personality. So like they signed Dansby Swanson to 8 years?
Yeah.
How many Swanson jerseys do you see in the ballpark, Danny?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Tucker will be the same way. Hap has been there 9 fucking years, and you barely ever see a Hap jersey. they keep signing these
Okay,
guys
I've seen
Okay,
some
but-
Tuckers.
building around
Okay.
them, and they're not guys that people actually want there.
There were a lot of Chris Bryant jerseys, and who's more boring, vanilla, and Disney than that guy? So the only argument against that argument is that it's already worked for them.
Well, but Chris Bryant was
And
MVP,
Mark Pryor.
Rookie of the Year, and they played his ass up a lot, and he benefited from being Rizzo's buddy. So, like, people didn't
That's
realize quite how boring Bryant was because Rizzo was always next to him. having
Rizzo
fun.
rizzed all over him, and he carried that Riz.
All the Riz.
So let's get to the bitch clock because we can keep talking about these in terms of people's Cub fan grievances. So let me present you with this week's Boomer Bills bitch clock topics.
You have trouble with that one.
Well, it's a lot of B's, a lot of alliteration. It's almost as many B's as Michael's book. Bleacher bum.
This is
Bible
a B-level
book.
show. We should have nothing but
we're moving up
E's
in the
with
world.
B's.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nobody's ever said that, Michael.
yeah. About
What?
69 is a D+ at best.
Yes, you're right. My bad.
So these are
We have all
leftover.
the teams.
These are leftover from last week, and that's the tough April schedule. Although it was brought up today and on the Ranters page from one of the ranters that the April schedule is brutal. This one keeps sticking to my craw. This one from Boomer Bill from a few weeks ago, where he says roster built to lose in the playoffs. He's not wrong. Astros closers. I actually we're going to call this Astros closer sloppy seconds. That's what I prefer to call it. And then you have beer prices. I think that's a given. The prices of everything, really. I added this one. Wrigley Goose euthanization lies, because I believe that goose was euthanized. That Crane Kenny, he just is going to stay on the list for the time being. Handedness matchups, I think those stay on the list for the time being. Boog will always be on this list. Hot dog sharing couple makes the list. New this week. Being done with the NL West pretty much after this month made the list. The fact that Ricketts won't pay Tucker made the list. Fuck landlords. I agree with that. West Coast games. I think you mean the timing probably of that. PCA bunting. I believe that comes from Carey, Bronner Meyer. And first round picks that can't hit a baseball. Who is he considering? I believe he's considering PCA, Matt Shaw. Who else do we have that's first round
Ian
pick?
Happ.
Ian. No,
He didn't have to hit.
I know, but he's not.
Not
He's
enough.
not hitting well this season.
Not
And he is a
enough.
first rounder.
So anything that you want to add in the comments right now that you would like me to add to the bitch clock or the wheel of grievances, or do you want to comment on any of these new categories?
Let's go.
Before we get started. Well, I'll go first this time because I'm already in the wheel of grievances wheel. So it's just going to take me a second to get the bitch clock up, but you guys can see this, right?
Yeah. About time.
All right.
First time in weeks.
Oh, well, I already kind of bitched about this. Ricketts won't pay Tucker. I can keep going on it though. So I got to remove it from and now I'm going to. I think I have a good process now about how this works. Let's see if it does. Here we go. No, here we go.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
All right. Not only will the Ricketts not pay Kyle Tucker, they're not going to pay any of these major stars because they don't have to. They're going to make plenty of money without signing Kyle Tucker. We'll bitch and moan about, I can't believe we didn't get Bryce Harper. I can't believe we didn't get Juan Soto. I can't believe we didn't get Ohtani. We're not getting any of these guys. You know why? Because we, the assholes, keep paying $100 to sit in a bleacher seat, which used to be $4, people. Go look at the Cubs website.
bitching.
When they say you got to be there, it's not a picture of the player. It's a picture of a drunk Cub fan. That's what they're selling.
Yeah. Well, actually, when they say you got to be there, they're basing that on the marquee shitty broadcast.
Yeah, they're like, you got to be there, or otherwise you got to listen to Boog.
Maybe that's why they keep Boog around it. So you go to more games, you're like, I can't fucking take it. I'm just gonna go to the fucking game. I'm gonna spend my $150 a game because I can't fucking handle this.
That's how it used to be. Remember, like when the owners would be like, we don't want to put this on TV because we need to get people out to the ballpark.
Look what happened to the Blackhawks for many, 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 many years. They blacked them out at home for years. Nobody could see a goddamn game. And then they had no fans and no team.
I know.
It required what's
The
his
old
name
man
to
died.
die. Rocky
So
Wirtz died, and then they finally got back on TV. And
forget
apparently, people like the Blackhawks.
Yeah, well, they love them. And here's the thing: I would have been a huge Blackhawks fan because I was a big Washington Capitals fan.
Careful how you say that.
I loved hockey. I loved hockey more than baseball when I was a little kid. And when we moved to
Because
Chicago,
you're white.
well, because my dad brought me. I mean, we didn't
my,
go.
my family is a hockey family. It's Bruins first across the board for my family.
Then Red Sox, Sox.
Yeah, but my dad was a big baseball fan, so I got the baseball bug.
Well, and I grew up in Iowa, so
Yeah.
I have no hockey allegiance whatsoever. I generally a Blackhawks fan because
Again.
they're just Chicago, but like I could never watch them.
No,
I was too far away. They didn't play that shit. Well, they didn't play it anyway. But yeah, I didn't grow up watching hockey at all.
So, all right, Michael, you're in the seat of doom here. So I'm going to share the screen here, and we're going to take.
Let her rip,
Rick,
Danny. Let's spin that fucking wheel.
We're going to take Ricketts being done, not paying Tucker, although it might come back next week.
All right.
Okay, so we're giving it a spin. Everybody can see this, right? Okay. Ooh, and you get a classic, Crane Kenny. Crane Kenny.
This is terrible for me because I don't know shit about Crane Kenny.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's what the bitch clock's all about, is that you've got to make shit up now. You've never done that before, have you?
Never.
Here we go.
Bitch clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
Here's the situation. Why in the fuck do we even know Crane Kenny's name? No one should know this guy's name. This is baseball. Like, yeah, sure, you kind of know, like, you know the owner's name, you know the president of baseball operations. Why do we know the fucking business guy's name? Probably because every fucking thing he does is annoying as shit. And then, of course, shit Bambi puts him on the fucking game for 3 innings and we don't get to see the
bitching.
Who the fuck is Crane Kenny?
Well, you know who Crane Kenny is, Michael? He's the guy that coordinated the killing of the goose out center field. And I'm going to say, Michael, there's probably an adult version of a children's book there that you can write called The Crane versus the Goose. And I really want you to do it.
Maybe, you know what? I don't know about a full-on book, but I could probably get us a poem out of that.
All right. I like it.
Crane versus the Goose. But yeah, I don't know shit about Crane Kenny except for the fact that I shouldn't know. I shouldn't even know his name.
The goose is cooked.
Lyle, do you know what is Crane's fucking job again? Like
who is
business plan?
who is
beer
his
price beer price raiser?
Do you know?
No,
do you know
I
who that
don't.
is
I don't.
for the Red Sox?
No,
Yeah,
I don't. I used to.
that-
But I don't.
Well, we know who he is because he's kind of out there and vocal and around as well. He's the president of business operations, and I think the thing that about Crane Kenny is that he's been around forever. He has been through all the regimes. Like he was there during Hendry. I mean, I forget how long he's been there, but it's been a long ass time. And this guy somehow cannot lose his job. He must have like naked pictures of the mayor or something. I don't know.
Which mayor? I mean, he's been there through 3 mayors.
All the mayors. Yeah. So Bill asks, the goose is gone. Yes, they said the goose flew away.
The
Bullshit.
goose is cooked.
That goose is cooked.
and I saw a story on Cubs.com about how like PETA was happy about the way that they treated him. PETA, you don't know the story.
Yeah, the goose is dead. The goose is at the carving station.
fucking PETA lives around the corner from the fucking stadium. That guy's a fucking loser. That's all I know. Fuck PETA.
Peter DeFalco, that guy's an asshole.
He's an asshole. He fucking eats goose every fucking Saturday. It was probably fucking him.
And he gooses every waitress he sees. All right, so Lyle, it is your turn. So
Let me fucking have at it.
Yeah, so we'll remove Crane Kenny from the list here.
Let's just remove Crane Kenny from our knowledge base. Let's just not ever think about him again.
Here we go. Spinning it here, boss. Okay, what are you gonna get? Ooh, the tough April schedule, or
Yep.
all right. Let's do it. There we
We're
go.
about to be yelled at by
Clock, you have 30 seconds to bitch.
I don't think the April schedule has turned out to be that tough. I think the Cubs look like a good fucking baseball team. I'm going to say it. They have no pitching, but they're surviving. They can score runs. That's all they need to do. They just got to keep hammering the goddamn ball like they did yesterday. I'll tell you what. The Cubs will have a winning record in April if they win today's game. They're going to win. They're going to be 6 games over 500 in April if they win today's game. If they don't, they're going to lose the rest of the month. It all comes down to today, people. It comes down
Stop
to today.
your bitching.
That's surprising. I really thought Lyle was going to tell us that the April schedule just isn't that hard and we're all being whiny bitches.
That's true too. They're a Major League Baseball team. Get out there and play the fucking games.
Well, it could be advantageous to catch some of these teams that are actually stacked up to be pretty good to catch them at this time of year before they get their shit together.
Correct.
That actually
Except
does
for
help
maybe
us.
the Dodgers, who are beating us 3-1 so far. So I think today's an important game.
Here,
I do too.
yeah,
Colin Ray on the mound. Ray.
As much as April games can be important, I feel like this is like those Sunday games for the split to break the split, I think are always, they give you the scaries. They're it's nice to win them. It's nice to win on Sundays.
Sunday games always give Cubs fans the scaries because the Cubs just generally run out dumb fucking lineups, and we lose a lot of Sunday games, especially after. I mean, they did it against the Padres. Or they had 2 in their pocket, and then they just blew up on the Sunday game.
It is kind of the thing. It's the 3 outcome thing, the Sundays, because you're up 2-0, and then you're stressed out because you're like, oh god, we got to get the sweep, and you just feel like they're gonna choke, or it's 1-1, and you feel like they're gonna fucking blow it, or you're down 0-2 and you don't want to get swept, and there, you know what I mean. So it just you're beside yourself no matter what's fucking happening.
Yeah.
Well, you're a gambling man. Like I know the Cubs are probably not favored in today's game. Glasnow
not
versus Ray. I mean, would you think that after last night's 16-0 beatdown that they've find a little like swing in their step coming out of it, or is it the opposite?
I get nervous because that's the argument is like, oh, their bats came alive. Maybe they're gonna keep going. I always get this weird feeling. I know it makes no sense, but I'm like, oh, they wasted all those runs. They overdid it. They're fucked.
Yeah.
And maybe the other team comes out a little angry or a little mad, and the problem is against a team like the Dodgers, they have the bats to counter it. They have the attitude to counter it. They have the pitching to counter it. They have all the things that you'd want in a team to be like, we ain't worried about it. But
they are pissed because the Cubs just beat the shit out of Rojas. Like they gave him no mercy and they just kept hitting the ball.
Yeah.
And so they are coming in upset. And here's the thing about
I wouldn't bet on the Cubs today. If you're asking me honestly, there's not a fucking chance I put money on the Cubs.
Yeah, I bet you the money would be good though if you put a little money down. Just on.
Here's the thing about April schedule that gets me nervous is that last year we had a really good April, great April schedule towards the end of the time.
Hard April schedule too.
Yeah, and they did great. But then we started to get a few of these injuries, right? And then that's when the mismanagement of the team started to step in. And we were all like thinking, like, if they're this good when all their guys are injured, imagine what's going to happen when they come back. But then they brought everybody back when they were still injured.
Nobody had it. Nobody had it. They were desperate. And I know, but Michael, we make the other argument. You're like, God, why are they taking so long to bring these guys up and do this thing? But then when they do, it's a disaster. Yeah, plus 215. I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. Josh, those are good odds, but it's
But I'm talking about like Cody Bellinger had a broken rib. Dansby Swanson had the bad knee for a while, played, and then they only gave him a little bit of time. Nico Horner with the broken wrist. Like, they had all these things. The mismanagement is the thing that frightens me the most.
Lack of depth, too. I mean, the mixed management of lack of depth, because we threw Nick Madrigal taking 75 steps to throw to first base. You had Christopher Morel throwing it like halfway into the freaking stands every time.
Christopher Morel
Sucked.
was their best third baseman last year. Of
He
all
wasn't.
their third basemen, he was the
wasn't.
best one that they had, and they
He the-
fucking traded for a worse third baseman.
I don't know about that. I mean, Morel, as much as I liked him, like when I saw some of those plays that like Matt Shaw was making on opening day, where he was picking it and throwing it, like,
Look, I'm
Morel
not saying that
throws,
Matt
like,
Shaw's
half
not
of
a
those.
better third baseman.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Christopher Morel was never as bad as everybody fucking made him out to be. And the big thing with Morel is when he had a bad day, he had a real bad day. He would get like 3 errors in a game.
Yeah, which you can't do that in a major league.
But Paredes was bad every fucking game. He just was bad. He wasn't good at third. I'm sorry. He wasn't. I'm watching the games. He fucking wasn't good. And was Morel a great third baseman? No. And if Shaw comes up and he's better, fine. But not for Madrigal. Like, he was just better than everybody gave him credit for. And it just drove me fucking nuts that nobody would give this kid a chance. And they didn't give him a chance because his name was Morel and his skin tone.
Paredes off to a nice start. Slashing 278, 391, 407, OPS just 2 under 800 for an OPS plus of 133.
He's also got a short left field, which fits him.
2 home runs though only, so it's not like, he just got 6 or something like that.
He had 2 home runs in a fucking whole half season with the Cubs. He's got 2 in like 2 weeks with the fucking Astros. Don't tell me that the home runs aren't enough.
Wind was blowing in. It wasn't his fault.
Danny, the Cubs are 7-3 in April right now. There's 14 games left to play. If they go 500 the rest of the month, they finish 21-10. No. Yeah.
That's not how math works.
That's not how math works.
I'll tell you, they got 3 against San Diego. Then they got an off day, 3 against Arizona, 2 against the Dodgers. That's at home because of the stupid, the way that they start in Japan as home games. Then they have Philadelphia and finally end with 2 at Pittsburgh in April. So that is a tough road to hoe. You got basically 3 more with the Dodgers, 3 with, the whole West, the whole NL West is tough, except for the Rockies. And then you have the Phillies, which they're good. Kyle Schwarber's going to hit 700 home runs at Wrigley Field.
Cubs killer?
Yeah, probably. And then finally you get to face Pittsburgh. By then the season might be over for us, and we'll have already been mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, do you think? All right, I think the Cubs are over 500 by the end of the month.
Yeah, or the flip side.
That's my
over 500. People are excited. They're like, now we're rolling into this easy schedule, and then all of a sudden,
we're hurt and we have no depth. That everybody said we had.
Well, and we don't even know what's going on with Suzuki's finger because he got removed from the game, and hopefully it's just a day-to-day and he's back out there. But
and look, everything is going well for the Cubs right now, and I want to share this.
It all comes down today.
This is how fucking well things are going for the Cubs, so we can't really expect this to continue. Carson Kelly is the best hitter in the entire major leagues.
Oh yeah, just you drew it up before the season. I mean,
exactly?
Sure, one of us predicted that.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker is 12 on this list. What's he doing? Carson Kelly needs to teach Kyle Tucker how to fucking hit the ball.
No, but to have two guys on that list at the beginning of the season gives you a little hope, right?
Well, especially when one of them is your backup fucking catcher.
Yeah. Well,
but this is my point, though. All of these other guys on this, well, maybe not all of them, but most of the guys on this list are guys you've heard of and are probably going to be
right. Aaron Judge is probably still going to be on that list
at the end of the year.
Right.
Carson Kelly is probably not going to be on that list.
How about this? If the Cubs are good this season, I bet you Carson Kelly is on that list, because when the Cubs are good, the catching is good and the bats from the catchers are good. And maybe he's having a comeuppance. Maybe he's having a coming out party. Maybe you could just show a little pride in this fucking team, Michael, that you root for. Maybe this guy's going to be good. Maybe he's the future.
Do you know who was the future and we got rid of him?
That's exactly what the Cubs do. Their future is a 30-year-old journeyman catcher.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
You're
knows?
standing in the way of progress.
Danny was a late bloomer. Look at him. Maybe this
Yeah,
guy's
look
a
at
late
me.
bloomer.
I'm peaking now.
Yeah.
Matt Mervis with 4 home runs already this year too. I mean,
Yeah.
Michael Busch with a hell of a game last night, but we gave up a lot to get him, and meanwhile, like Matt Mervis is like tearing it up. I just happened to look
To
at.
be fair, he would have had another homer last night. Didn't he get robbed?
Yeah, he did get not
A grand
robbed. Well, yeah,
slam
he
got
got robbed. I mean, I guess it's robbed, but it just guy made a nice catch. I guess that's robbed.
Yeah,
I guess that's what you call robbed. It
well,
wasn't-
which one wasn't there one that was like
the wind blew it back. It was an actual person with skill, like jumping up. You could do that at Dodger Stadium. You could make those plays.
true, but yeah, but I'm just saying he had a very good opportunity to hit yet another home run.
Yeah, no, Michael Busch is awesome. I'm just saying Matt Mervis is doing well, even though Alexander Miller's peeing on that idea by saying 0 pressure in Miami. That is true. So I'm sure.
But Miami's a tough place to hit homers. I don't know if those homers have come in the home ballpark, but it's not an easy place to hit dongs.
Nobody wants to do it since the home run sculpture's gone too, and they can't see that vomitous giant psychedelic sculpture spin around.
Yeah, the home run Jesus dolphin.
Speaking of pressure, did someone release a pressure gauge or something like that? What does that smell? It's like
Oh,
dead.
God.
It's like dead fish and death.
Here he comes.
Oh, God.
that is him.
What?
After 6 games in California, making money for Tom, Pete, Todd, and Laura, the Cubs will come home to lose to Arizona. Don't say I didn't warn ya.
Wow.
I already said all that stuff. I said we're coming back. And
Why
we're
is he?
facing Arizona.
Why is he copying you?
I don't know. He's got no fresh ideas.
I think he just dialed one in. He just called one in from left field. He's just like, yeah, let's do this real quick.
My dog just got sick again.
Yeah,
Smelling that.
it smells
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, poor doggy. So, a couple of quick announcements. Ranter Fest. I think we're going to stick with August 2nd, even though our drummer can't be a part of it. It seems to work best for everybody else. So we have to once again Spinal Tap the backup drummer. Kevin's going to go play. I mean, it's good. We have multiple talented drummers that know the Bleacher Bum Band songs. So that's a good thing.
Let's just hand out bongos, little toy bongos to everyone. And
Dan would lose his fucking mind. He's like, he'd stop every song. He said, I said on the 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing. Some drunk fucking chick is always coming up. I want to play tambourine with the band, and we're like, absolutely not. That is the loudest instrument in a band. Like louder than the drums, louder than the lead guitar. The tambourine just cuts. So this chick, out of time, drunk chick playing tambourine, never a good idea. Never a good idea.
Terry E wants to know, why is Cubstradamus on oxygen? Cubstradamus can't stand his own smell. He has to pump in your oxygen.
It's gotten that bad. It
I don't
smells
even know.
terrible.
That might be nitrous, actually. I'm not sure.
Oh. Straight.
He just says
nitrous.
straight
That's what all the
nitrous.
kids are doing, and he's definitely hip to the current drugs. He's always, you know what I mean? He was doing that crocodile when it was hot and those bath salts when it was a thing. So it's probably nitrous, which
Tide
is
Pods. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the drug all the kids are doing again is the fucking nitrous oxide. It's back around, Danny. It's like we're fucking in college again.
Oh,
Cubstradamus started that Tide Pods thing because he's the only one that actually got high off of it.
Well, he was trying to clean the smell from his mouth. He thought he could clean him. When he heard Trump say maybe if we put bleach on the inside of us, we could get rid of the disease. He's like, yeah, I'm going to clean the inside. So he just started popping Tide Pods like it was no big deal.
So everybody keeps asking me, Ronnie Woo Woo, he's been moved to a better nursing facility. That's good. It's called the Pearl up in Evanston. If you want to, I don't have that address right now, but that's what it's called, the Pearl in Evanston. If you still want to send him a card or good wishes, his name is Ronnie Wickers, and then just send it to the Pearl at Evanston. And you could throw some lottery tickets in there. He loves the scratch offs. Anyway, I'm moving right now. I've just been, my life is packing. Otherwise, I would have gone and seen him this weekend. Just didn't have time. But I do want to wish a very happy birthday today to Grant Friedman. It's his birthday.
Fucking birthday, Grant.
Tawny Finneran's birthday is on the 20th of April, which is also Easter. Next weekend is Easter. So join us for our resurrection show next weekend, where the stone will be rolled away and the Son Ranto show shall ride again.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Yes, it shall.
Our resurrection.
I can't wait to see what Cubstradamus has in store for that day, since he used to party with Jesus and they didn't leave each other on good terms.
No.
We will be eating chocolate gooses instead of rabbits.
Actual gooses. They're free down at Wrigley. And then this is a very important week on Thursday. Just, put it in your calendars. It is the anniversary of Mordecai Brown losing his fingers.
Oh, that's
important. Nice.
Yeah, so that's a very important day in Cubs history. And Saturday is Rally Titties Day. So shake them if you got them.
Big week. Big week.
Big week for Cubs history.
Fingers and titties.
And I just realized I really should have done a Bible verse for Rally Titties. Should have been something about Easter.
Guess what? There's going to be an update. There's going to be an update to the book. There's going to be a version 2. You got to stay current.
69 more.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, exactly.
It only took me 5 years to do this one or whatever.
Yeah, everybody buy that. Do you have a copy of it near you at this
Can
this
you
moment?
hold it up? He doesn't even he doesn't even have a copy himself.
He's like, I'm not buying that.
No, I did get some copies. Look at that.
Read us a
beautiful
passage, will you?
Oh, I was hoping that Bill would read these. I think he's got a great voice for it. Okay, well, I mean, let's just start with number 1.
You do your best, Pastor Bill, reading it.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That is Genesis 1:1. That's exactly how the Bible starts, and that's how we start this book. In the beginning of Major League Baseball, there were 8 teams in professional baseball, and only the Chicago White Stockings. Oh, no, and the Chicago White Sox, I can't even read my own fucking book. The Chicago White Stockings were the best of those teams. Only 2 teams of the original 8 still remain. The Chicago White Stockings are the only team that has remained in the same city as it was created. Thus, Chicago could be considered baseball's Garden of Eden. And if you were wondering, the only other team from the original 8 that remains is the Boston team, who moved to multiple different cities before finding a home in Atlanta, which is hot as hell in the summer.
Wow.
So that's fun.
That's Bleacher Bum Bible book.
God, Danny's so bad with the B's.
My father was a stutterer. Gave me cut me some slack. It cost $6.66.
Ordered mine, waiting for it. I'm going to read it on the toilet every day.
Yeah,
you can get a Kindle version for $3.69 if you'd like.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Kindle version out there as well. I put that one up first, and then everybody told me they wanted physical copies.
Yeah, and I just dropped a link for it in the chat, so go check it out. And you have to put in until maybe it becomes a more popular book, then it might start showing up in some searches. But you need to put Bleacher Bum Bible book. There, I did it.
Which is fucked up because the book is actually called Bleacher Bums, but I forgot the S when I put it in, and I can't change it.
Yeah, you have to. Maybe you can when you go to Bezos's wedding in Venice, you can ask him to change it.
Yeah,
when you're in the receiving line for him and Lauren, the beautiful Lauren Sanchez.
But if anybody's out there looking for it and you're wondering what's in the book, it's shit like that. I take a Bible verse, I equate it to some sort of Cubs or baseball thing, and then I write a little something. So it's thoughts out of my mind mixed with different, Bible and history stuff. And like I say at the beginning, none of this has been verified by any outside sources. It's it's complete ass stats, especially the Bible verses.
Right.
Yeah, you started strong with in the beginning. Well, what happened before that? Huh? Did you answer that question? What happened before the beginning?
Exactly. What was was it just total nothingness?
Yeah,
There
what does
had to
that
be
even
something.
mean?
And if they
If the
only
universe has
created the
walls,
heaven and the
what's
earth,
on the other side?
if they only created heaven and the earth, who was there to fucking know that there was only the heaven and earth? You don't know what the fuck happened.
What was on the other side of heaven?
Right.
And what and what is almost heaven besides that song from the 80s? Almost
Oh.
heaven.
They're talking about almost having their penis touched.
But we know that you know what that's worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. Ooh, baby. Do you know what that's worth?
I you know what? I wish people thought that, because these fucking assholes are like, I'm gonna die and go to a better place. So, fuck this world. I'm just gonna do whatever I want, be an asshole.
That's how I feel about it. So, but nothing really matters. All right, and then I do have a TFC. I don't know if anybody else.
I have one as well.
I have just one. This is a classic.
I have no ability to share, so I do nothing. I just listen to you guys. So whatever. I've tried to send things. Just doesn't work. I've been left out of the process, people. This is how Danny keeps me down all the time. He is management. He is like a Ricket, and the way he treats Michael and I, we're just the fucking help, and I fucking had it.
It's called gatekeeping.
Lyle, how do you get into this podcast? How do you sign in to be on this thing if you don't have access to this shit?
I'm like Danny twice, and I can sign up. I can change my name and stuff, but I'm like Danny twice, and it gives me no power.
That's really weird.
I can't do anything. It's weird.
I'll try to give you some power.
I'm literally
Next
not.
week.
I'm literally next week. I'm literally not logged in. I'm just here. I'm a guest.
Yeah, I mean that is possible to do. Just be a guest.
I'm not even sure how you're here. That's so weird.
I know.
So here's my TFC, and this is a classic. This is from Tim Cramblin Doovie. He says, same old, this is from Friday night, same old fucking trash losers versus real teams. 7 guys slump at once. Worthless fucking trash. Same fucking shit every motherfucking year.
Wow. I love it. That's full
then
on
we put
Ranto.
up 16.
Timmy got on the boom boom juice. He was watching the game and was just fucking drunk and mad.
His TV is non-functioning now. So it's out the window.
Who's the dude for the Brewers? Cato Kalin. He's the fucking Cato Kalin.
Yeah.
All right, here's my TFC.
This poor dog has a black eye.
Yeah, I found this over on the Reddit, and it says that feeling when it's 11-0 and you need to make a pitching change, and somebody took a picture from their seats at Dodger Stadium of the game pausing or whatever, and the very first response is, you can move down a few rows.
Yeah.
This person is sitting like as high as possible.
Go enjoy yourself. Get close. Go smell the grass.
Yeah,
because
you can tell so many people have left.
You can move down just a few rows, though, but at Dodger Stadium, there is tiered entrances. You cannot even enter in the same place as the fans on a lower level. If you're up there, you go in up there and you stay up there, and that's it. So, hashtag chance in the chat. I do want to say that you must do it again because I accidentally closed the tab that had the hashtag chance thing going. So it's been reset. So you must, if you've already hashtag chance, you had to be with us to the very end. I don't think Artie's winning this week. I think that's his MO. He comes in, floods the zone.
Or because there was a foul on Danny's end of it, maybe Artie just gets the win.
So I see a couple more coming in here. Hashtag chance. Make sure you get in again.
All I want is for the Cubs to be as successful as Artie is in this fucking contest.
Oh my! Well, then we're winning the World Series. Yeah. Guy wins everything. It's really insane. So if you are still with us, hashtag chance. We got a game tonight. Good luck to all involved. ESPN, everything's going against us, fellas. ESPN. It's Sunday. We had TBD until 5 minutes ago, and then it's our fifth starter who wasn't even supposed to be the fifth starter. Like A lot going against us, so bet Cubbies. I think that everything goes our way.
All right, you know what, Danny? Let's fucking do it. Let's ride or die, baby. I'm gonna make myself a couple Manhattans and watch the Masters. Then I'm gonna roll right into baseball. I'm gonna have a good buzz going. Maybe you'll see me on Blue Sky ranting. Who knows?
You're gonna fall asleep during the game, aren't you?
Yep. I'm gonna miss all of it.
I'm actually really interested to see what this ESPN broadcast looks like after MLB canceled the next season. Like, as bad as it always was, like, I feel like this time it's going to be, they always have like 3 people in the booth and they won't shut up and they're talking about and they have no idea what's going on with the team.
I love it. I love a national broadcast.
They're going to bring back Chris Berman and he's just going to be sitting there like, back. Oh, he's out. Like, it's just gonna be the worst broadcast ever. And I'm kind of like, for the first time, I want to see how bad it's going to be now that they know they won't have baseball.
Well, you could always listen to ESPN radio if they're still doing that and hear Boog actually do his job.
Oh yeah,
if you want to hear, that's always fun.
Yeah, if you want to hear Boog actually be good at baseball, fucking radio, man. The guy
CPA, the ball cutting people's asses out at third base. That's going to be the Berman. Except a little lower pitch. Making up names for everybody. What's the best Chris Berman name that you could think of for a Cubs player? All that and more next week on the Son Ranto Show.
Oh God, I'm glad you're giving us till next week to come up with that shit, because
in the meantime, we're drawing it. Last chance of getting the chance. Here we go. Boom. Got a lot of people in.
There are some good names in there. A lot of people we know.
And the winner is, it is Rogue Wave Creative. Congratulations.
I really like that it stopped for a second on Bill and just gave him that glimmer of hope before moving on.
Yeah. So there's the show. We'll be back next week with more.
On Easter, or are we going to go the day before Easter? We don't know yet. We'll let y'all know.
I mean, do you guys?
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
I may be, so we'll talk.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back next weekend, though. In some form.
To take care of.
Yeah, Lyle's. Is that your weekend to Altar Boy?
It is. So I'll be blowing dudes behind the altar point. I don't know what's right.
I was gonna say,
I'm getting blown by a priest. I don't know what's happening.
For Lyle, that means altering.
Put your lips together and blow.
Dude, great timing. Great timing.
It seemed like it needed to happen. It was right there for me.
Wow, that was so good. And I want you guys to think about who baseball Jesus is for the Cubs, since we're going to be talking about Jesus next week.
It's obviously Kyle Tucker this year.
All time.
Yeah. Michael, were you going to say something before we left? Before we were to go?
Not that anyone cares, but go ahead anyway.
Oh, no, I was just tagging the joke, saying that Lyle will be altering boys.
Oh. All right, and on that note,
aren't you glad you asked?
Not really. So anyway, I'll just play Ballad of Pancho Boy because I like that song. And some guy on Twitter told me that song sucks, so I'm going to play it. Ted, I hope he's fucking listening because it's a fucking good song. Fuck you, guy on Twitter, losing your hair. Fuck you, Twitter guy. All right.
And how we like to say in Latin, straight from the Bible, the word that means everything and nothing all at the same time, spagog.
I thought you were going to say agape, but yo, spagog.
Saturday in the rainy month of May, a smattering of bleacher fans were waiting at the gate. The fans began to stream to go see their favorite team. They made 3 separate lines to pass through security. There was one man who had a plan and knew just where to go. Run to section 504 and down to the first row. He had come prepared for rain with a plastic poncho. He'd get revenge with his girlfriend without getting soaked. And he'd sit there in the rain for 7 hours straight. He'd sit right through the weather that had made the game Jack was Bleacher Jeff, he'd pick the slowest line, while Poncho's line moved faster, abetting in the crime. For unbeknownst to Jeffrey, a few weeks in the past, he'd saved seats in his section, making Poncho pretty mad. He'd come back from Iowa to teach Jeff a lesson. He'd claim Jeff's customary seat in Jeff's usual section. For the tickets they both held said general admission. Revenge will be served cold and wet, no respect for tradition. And he'd sit there in the rain for 7 hours straight. He'd sit right through the weather that had made the game delayed. With his plastic poncho on, he'd sit all afternoon long. That's why I'm writing Poncho Boy this song. When Jeff got to his section, he said,
What have we here?
a rookie season ticket holder who maybe comes to 20 games a year. I'll buy you a couple beers if you give up that seat. If not, I'm gonna shame you in a notorious tweet. But Poncho Boy, he wouldn't budge, he wouldn't move a muscle. The seat that once held Bleacher Jeff now held a soaking couple. The driving rain poured off his poncho, pooling into puddles, while Bleacher Jeff stayed warm and dry down in the bleacher tunnel. And he sat there in the rain for 7 hours straight. He sat right through the weather that had made the game delayed. With his plastic poncho on, he sat all afternoon long. That's why I just wrote Poncho Boy this song.